the last official work day of the week. Today is the 7th day in the month of February 2020. And it is still a morning broadcast of our programs. We call it Morning Spice. And this is the platform where we promote socio-political discussions as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria. Welcome to the platform, the last edition for today, or for the week rather, because the program comes up on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. The platform is back on Flow 94.9 FM. My name is Michael Oni. Now, this morning, we're taking a look at the National Identity Management Commission. That commission, established by the NIMC Act number 23 of 2007, and has the mandate to establish, own, operate, maintain, and manage the National Identity Database in Nigeria. Register persons covered by the Act, assign a unique national identification number, that's the NIN, and issue general multipurpose cards to those who are citizens of Nigeria as well as others legally residing within the country. Now, that Act provides for the establishment of the NIMC, its functions, powers, establishment of the National Identity Database, assignment and the use of general multipurpose cards, and the national identification number, like I mentioned. Now, the importance of the NIN cannot be overemphasized as it has become the basis for data collection for many other platforms. On the platform this morning, we are focusing on the activities of the Commission, the National Identification Number, NIN, the process, and above all, the dangers of not having the identity card. That we will be taking a look at this morning on the platform. And joining me in the conversation this morning is Mr. Loveday Chika Ogbonna. That's the state coordinator of the National Identity Management Commission in Abia State. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Abians, and all the listeners. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, welcome to the program. And also, I have Chuka Okwe. I'm sure I'm correct with your name.
Good morning, listeners.
All right, he's the cluster head, Umuahia North and Zenith Bank Enrollment Center. And of course, let's take a look, we begin the conversation this morning by taking a look at the core mandate of NIMC, that's the National Identity Management Commission.
Yeah, thank you, my anchor. I must first of all thank the management of this radio stations, which is called Flow FM, for this opportunity to come to the platform to sensitize Nigerians about what we do.
Okay.
I want to say a big thank you for actually taking the lead. I know the other stations are also warming up to give us this same opportunity. So on that note, let me thank you once again. Let me thank you, the listeners. Basically, like you have stated, at the mandate that you have just read out, in all this summation, what we are doing at the National Identity Management Commission is to create a database of Nigerians and then what we call legal residents. And these Nigerians include Abians, wherever you are, to make sure that you are in a system where you can be recognized. Because we have activities have shown that we have a lot of ghosts here and there, people claiming to be who they are not, people carrying up to 4 or 5 identity identity cards, and you are not able to recognize them. So we are creating a platform. The mandate is, first of all, register Nigerians. What I mean by Nigerians, from birth, we register you and issue you what we call the unique identifier, which is also called the National Identification Number, the NIN. That number is what makes you, registers you into our database, and it's peculiar to you alone. It's not issued, it's a randomly selected number that is only issued to you alone and is for you until that. So after that, we now issue you a second token, which is called the National Identity Card, which is the smart card that comes after the registration of the number.
So first is the registration. You said from birth.
Yes.
You will get the NIN number.
That's correct.
Then you move on to get the ID card.
That's correct.
Okay, I would like to know what was the situation before NIMC was established. I understand it was established in 2007.
That's correct. Before then, there was this, data were just everywhere, scattered here and there. We call them operating at different silos. You see that immigration is doing their own and they're taking biometrics. The road safety also does theirs and they're taking biometrics. the BVN, there's the SIM card registration, and every little opportunity your biometrics are being requested from you. So what the government is trying to do under the present leadership of President Muhammad Buhari is to ensure that all these data are harmonized into the existing database of the NIMC, which is smart, which can be questioned. Your information in that database can be called up at any time, real time, online, to verify who you are.
Okay.
So we are supposed to be the sole repository of all the databases that has biometrics in Nigeria. And so far, I think we have close to 40 million Nigerians now that have registered, and non-Nigerians have registered.
Okay, before we go to the database, before you go to the figures, I would like you to, mention the importance and some of the importance of the NIN. That's the National Identification Number.
Yeah, the importance is so much, but I'll just pick a few because presently a country like India registered over 1.2 billion Indians, and then they issued them that identity. It's called the Aadhaar in India.
Okay.
In America, it is called the Social Security Number. In England, in Europe, it's called the Social Insurance Number. So the importance is something that tie all your information to one, and then
all the information
all the information about you.
But my question is, does it also have basic features like having your BVN number connected to this number?
Yeah.
So some of the features I would like you to describe.
Yes, you'll notice that when you come to any of our center to register, we will ask you for your BVN. The idea is not to have access to your account or to know what is happening on your account. The idea is to ensure that the records that BVN gave to us as part of the mandate of the federal government to harmonize all these data that you already do not exist in our system. Because if we go ahead and register you, the system will flag you, meaning that you already captured in our system, because those data from BVN were given to us. Records of about 20 million has been given to us. We filter them, and then we now produce this NIN. The NIN is already ready for you. But when you come to us and then you give us your BVN number, you don't need to start a fresh registration. What we now do is to do what we call BVN modification. So we modify those data that BVN did not capture, that we need to capture, and then issue you the NIN that is already provided for you. You understand? So unlike somebody who is coming afresh to register who do not have a BVN, or who is not captured in the BVN records that we have, that person will go through the process of fresh registration, and then once the system clears that you do not exist or you have not registered before, because you cannot even pull through if you have registered before, the system is so clear that any second attempt to register, the system will always flag you down because of your biometrics. So it is the only perfect situation where you have a system that cannot be faulted, unlike other databases that exist in a situation where you can go and get your SIM card and then get your driver to pick like 10 SIM cards for you using his or her personal biometrics, tying it to 10 SIM cards. But ours, there's no such provision.
I would like to take you on the level of compliance from Nigerians and also localize it, level of compliance from Abians.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons. Prior to my coming here, I used to head the corporate communication unit of the NIMC at the national level. And then one of the reasons I was also sent here was to encourage Abians, because I'm also a son of the soil. I'm from Osusioma, Ngwa, in Abia
welcome
State,
back home.
Yeah, so we need to talk to our people to really encourage them to know the benefits of this, because just recently that the government said, JAM said, without the NIN, not the card.
I was going to take you on that, but that would be later on because of our conversation this morning.
So basically the level of compliance has been abysmally low before now, and that's why we need to keep talking. We need to keep.
Is it in Nigeria or in Abia?
Well, in Abia, let me narrow it down to where I am here. So that's why, and because people also do not know the benefits, and some of our people could be very, very busy with their businesses that they feel they don't have time.
So how compulsory is it for me to get registered, for Abians to be registered?
Yes, one, it is very compulsory so that we will know how many we are in Abia State. That is one. That's one of the importance, and it's compulsory because you are going to need it to be able to access government services going forward.
going forward.
Yes. For example, you cannot procure your international passport now without the number.
Your name.
So at the point of registration, it stops there until you get your name. Very soon, you are not going to be able to write your WAEC, whether junior.
Just recently, JAM
yes,
also
did
had
the same thing. So you're not going to write your junior WAEC or your senior WAEC without it. In fact, I was even joking with somebody that very soon, even for weddings, you cannot conduct weddings without the number.
Really?
Sure. You cannot go to a police station.
So you won't be issued a marriage certificate without your name.
Exactly.
Very soon.
That's actually some of the regulations cover so many of that to the extent that you cannot go to a police station and make an entry in a police station without the number. Name. So there's practically nothing you can do without the name.
And you're saying the level of compliance from Abians is low.
Yeah, I want to. At the last count, we have just less than about 770,000 of Abians, because the system captures
770,000.
Yes, and
so that's the number of persons you've registered in Abia
so far,
State.
which you agree with me is additionally low, because Abian, I believe, we are not anything less than 6 million in Abia here. You know, from perceptions.
Is there an age bracket for registration?
No, there's none. We only allow from maybe once the child is able to come on, so that we can capture the pictures. From age 1, I think we should be able to capture that child. What we don't do is to issue anybody below 16 years the national ID card.
Okay.
But the number is issued to that child.
The number is
issued.
One,
that's because our act says that until you turn 16, you understand, we cannot issue you the card. And again, your biometrics are not fully formed until you turn 16.
During the registration, JAM registration, it was stated that having your NIN card is very compulsory for you to go ahead with your JAM registration.
That's
now, we had issues with the number of enrollment centers where you have a multitude of candidates, JAM candidates, approaching your enrollment centers. How many enrollment centers do we have in Abia State?
Yeah, we are supposed to be in all the local governments of the state. We are supposed to be, and then we are actually there, but some of them are not active.
Okay.
So presently we have presence in about 12 local governments. You know, Abia State has 17 local governments.
12?
Yes, 12 local governments. So we still have about 5. Presently, one of our centers was caught fire. That's the Bende ERC. That's Bende local government, caught fire. And all our equipment there got burnt.
Okay.
And all that. So we are also in special centers like Zenith Bank here in Umuahia. We're also in Zenith Bank in Abia. We are also Polaris Bank in Abba. So we also have branches in the Nigerian Immigration Service.
Okay.
Yes, and we're calling on individuals and organizations to also what we call co-location, to also give us space where we can come and set up an enrollment center.
All right, it is still the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. And this morning, we're turning our focus on the National Identity Management Commission. That commission established, of course, that is in charge of national identification number and, of course, your national ID card. I do have here with me Mr. Loveday Chika Obona, the state coordinator of the commission here in Abia State, and, of course, Mr. Chuka Okwe, the cluster head, Umuahia North and Zenith Bank enrollment centers here in Abia State. Well, we'll go for a break, and when we return, I would like to take you on the report of corruption among your staff from prospective Nigerians who are applying for the ID card. And of course, the complaints that the card takes so much time for it to be ready. It is the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house. Well, still the platform, the last edition for the week, the first week in the month of February 2020, and it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It looks like it's going to rain this morning because of the weather. Well, you're listening to Flow 94.9 FM live from Umuahia, the capital of Abia State. And this morning on the platform, where we promote several discussions as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria, we're taking a look at the National Identity Management Commission and, of course, their activities here in Abia State. And, of course, talking about that commission in charge of creating the database unique identifier for Nigerians. And we're here with the coordinator, the state coordinator, and of course the cluster head in Umuahia North and Zenith Bank Enrollment Centers in Abia State. Well, now let's get back to the conversation this morning, Mr. Loveday Chika and also Mr. Chuka Okwe. There have been reports of corruption among your staff from prospective Nigerians who are applying for ID card. Some of them will come out and complain that, bribe being demanded by members of your commission that should pay something before they are being attended to. I don't know how you want to react to that this morning on the program.
Yeah, from the PR angle, we cannot say that this does not exist in the system because it would be ill of me to say that there are no bad eggs amongst us, and that's what we have come to also do, to sanitize the system, to ensure that people do the right thing. So at the point of registration, we ask people to bring relevant identity documents, to something that identifies maybe your birth certificate, and all that. So some of them would say they don't have.
I would like you to reel out those relevant items.
Okay. Basically, all they need to come with is either of their the old national ID card, which is no longer in use now, and then the voter's card, their indigent certificate, something that shows that you're from a particular local government, state indigent certificate. Their government ID card, like maybe you work in a government establishment, even in a private establishment or schools owned by government, and then your birth certificate, your WAEC result, your photo ID that has an expiring date. So those things are what we can collect. And for those who do not even have that, they are not also going to be disenfranchised. You can also get a letter from your pastor if you're
a member of a congregation.
Yeah, the pastor can give you a letterhead identifying you. And then also if you're a Muslim, you can get from your imam. And then you can also get from your traditional ruler or from a senior,
identifying you that you're a member of the community.
Exactly, so that we know that you belong to this place. We photocopy those documents and then we give it back to you. So when people come, they will tell you, help us process this. And we tell them it's not our duty to process them. So sometimes those things actually aid our people to go into that kind of activity, helping to arrange somebody for some of these source documents, which we frown at seriously. So those are things that also lead to bribery. And then some of our centers too are, experiencing some issues in terms of, power here, which we do not control. So what I tell our people is that when you get to a place and there's no power, you are either not working. You said until power is restored, because power is not under our purview. We don't handle issue of electricity. So if there's no power, you don't get a role. But what happens is that most times people tell you, is it fuel? We will help you to buy that fuel. You understand? To get fuel so that we can get registered. And in that case, most times we either give you to go and get those things and come in and get them. But recently, we have been able to get some of our staff that are involved in sharp practices. And as I'm talking to you now, more than 6 of them have actually been terminated. Though no one yet in Abia State, but this thing is going around. We have done that in some other states like Ogun State, Lagos State, and we have people who also go around to actually monitor. We have asked the security agencies to also fish out some of these bad eggs.
But my question is, do you have a hotline or hotlines where Abians can report illegal conduct of your staff?
Yeah, I can leave my phone number out there so that people can call me.
It will be very important because I need to let you know my personal experience where I got to the point of registration some years ago, probably when you weren't here in Abia State, and I was asked to pay a certain amount of money to buy fuel, and there was light. If I do not pay that certain amount of money, I will not be registered. I got pissed off and I left the venue of the registration.
Of course you will. Those are the things that we're trying to make in the board. It's taking time, but we are going to get there. Our people are being seriously sensitized, and that's why in places where we are, we said it is not compulsory. Nobody is going to demand that from you, and even if it does, if you give anything on your own, you're just trying to appreciate, and of course that is also allowed. But then in Abia State, as much as possible, we're trying to make sure that those things are not demanded from you before the services are rendered. And in places where we are not able to get through, then we don't offer the service until the provision is made. From
So the hotline now.
Yeah, I'll give my phone number. My number is 0802 355 6571.
Okay, I would like you to roll that again.
Yeah, 0802 355 6571.
Okay, I'd like to take you later on the complaints that the car takes so much time for it to be ready. But let me have Mr. Chuka say some things. You're the cluster head in Umuahia North and Zenith Bank Enrollment Centers. What has been your experience with Nigerians that you've registered and those that have been around for registration? What has it been like?
In terms of?
In terms of compliance and in terms of, following the laid down rules. I'm sure you have rules at the point of registration.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, the Joint Matriculation Board insisted that candidates, that they made name a prerequisite for registration of JAMB. So we had a lot of influx of JAMB candidates in our centers. As my state coordinator, Mr. Loveday, just said, we're able to handle most of these persons that came to enroll for their name. But then there are centers, there are places, local governments where we don't have presence at the moment. So most of these people, there are times where people travel from hinterlands to get to the nearest center. And the proximity to some of these centers, the distance from the location, rural areas, to some of these centers is quite far.
Okay.
So what we experience is that we need to collaborate with other parties, other partners, to be able to reach to rural areas within Abia State, to rural communities, to be able to enroll them. What we call mobile enrollment. There are times we need to move our logistics, our computer enrollment systems, and move it to rural communities to be able to enroll them. Because most times, people who dwell in rural areas within the state cannot come to the nearest center because of issue of distance, or the amount paid to get to the nearest center might be much. It's not within their means.
So the working hours is when to when? I want to know the number of hours you open each day.
The normal working hour civil service is between 8 and 4:30, but we extend to 5 o'clock in the NIMC to accommodate people who cannot get to our offices within time.
Okay,
but even at that, as long as you're within our offices, even if it gets to 5 o'clock, we'll make sure we enroll everybody who has come to our office for that day before going. So there are times we stay in the office till 6 o'clock or 7 to make sure we enroll everyone that has arrived to our office.
Okay, can you explain in detail the processes of registration at that point of enrollment when you walk into a center of enrollment, and of course you tender some of the documents now? Can you explain it?
Okay. When an applicant approaches any of our center, it's expected that you must have come with any of the documents that is a proof of identity to identify who you are, that you are a Nigerian citizen or legal resident. For example, birth certificate, school identity card, local government area of origin certificate, or any other instrument issued by Nigerian government. So on presentation of this, it is verified that it's authentic. On verification, you're issued a form, enrollment form. You're expected to provide us some demographic data, details of like where you live, name of your parents, spouse, and next of kin, and other details. So on completion of filling of the form, we'll now move you. The next stage is for us to capture your biometric and demographic details.
Okay.
You have to capture your picture, your fingerprints, your signature. All these things will be uploaded into our server. Once it's successful, after what we call a due verification process to confirm that you have not enrolled somewhere before, then NIMC, our computer, our server will now issue what we call a national identification number, which is a unique 11-digit number randomly generated by a computer system, and it stays with you for a lifetime. It is only retired after death. What this implies is this: you might come to change your name, date of birth, or other demographic data on our form, but that number, once issued, is still with you for a lifetime. It never changes.
Okay. All right. It's still the platform. I will open the phone lines now. I know you have so many questions Of course, it is time to take your questions on the program this morning. 0808 182 6949. 0811 6052 949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, the guests on the studio.
Good morning.
Doris, my name.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Yes, one of my questions is this. I did that was 2015. I have not gotten the permanent identity card. I'm still going with the temporary one. So I want to know, someone that enrolled 2015, and the people gave a directive, you can check your distance, whether it has come out online. I've tried to no avail. Do I need to go back to your office? Because I went there, that was 2008. In 2019, I went there. They said it hasn't come out. So I don't know if it's out now. I did 2015, like I said earlier. So I don't know if it's out.
All right. Thank
now,
you.
That's number one. Number two.
Okay, that's number one. Okay, quickly.
Yes. Number two, yes, I'm rounding up. One of my friends that wanted to open an account in one of the banks, and he never had any of his IDs. He said he doesn't have a national ID card. I said, okay, go to Zenith Bank and do it. When he got there, they said, unless you're coming to open an account with Zenith Bank, or you have an account with Zenith, that is when they can issue you that distance. He had to leave that distance, and it's very wrong. When I had it, I wasn't really happy. When I had this particular program, I said, thank God, let me drop the report so that people can be able to treat it and then clear the air on it. Thank you.
All right, the state coordinator is here to, answer those questions.
Okay, my brother, quickly because of our time, I want to thank you for your patience since 2015. I would also be, if I'm in your shoe, I would do the same thing. I will come asking, but I just want you to know that your card will be printed. Presently, what we are doing is to emphasize on getting people into the database first. And what you call the temporary slip is not actually temporary, and that's a mistake a lot of people do.
Okay.
NIMC issues 2 tokens. The first token is that slip, which has your NIN, the number. We advise you to keep it, laminate it, and keep it handy so that on demand it can be presented. So it's not temporary, you're meant to keep it. And then store that number somewhere in case you lose that card. If you lose the slip, you can always go back with your phone to do *346#. So,
can you take that again?
Yeah, if you lose that slip,
okay,
and then your NIN is demanded for by any government agency, you will do *346. It's a USSD code.
Okay.
And then
346#.
Yes, with the phone number you use to register. It has to be the phone number you use to register on the database.
Okay.
So once you do that, the system will charge you 20 naira. That's the charge from the what do you call it, telecom company.
Okay.
And then your NIN will be provided to you. They will ask you 1 or 2 questions, and then your NIN will be sent to you just like you do for your BVN.
Okay. Then the enrollment center at the Zenith Bank.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. So your card will be provided. We are sorry, we are not emphasizing on the card for now because we want to take on the one we can quickly do, which is the registration. You have to get the names first and then issue the card later. So the card will come, I assure you. Sorry about that. Then the Zenith Bank branches, we have an arrangement with Zenith Bank, which is a collaboration. They bought the equipment. The equipment are theirs. Any branch you see in Zenith Bank has that special arrangement. So when you go there, you're going to, if you look at the environment and all that. So what they are asking you to do is not to pay NIMC. What you are paying is to open an account with Zenith Bank because they actually funded that arrangement.
So if you do not want to open an account with the Zenith Bank,
yes, then you don't need to go there. Because it's mostly for Zenith. Yeah, you have other centers that you should avail yourself of. Like, Mahia North, we are there. Like
that's the local government.
That's the local government. We're also in the immigration service. We are also in the state office. And then, so those are the places you can go.
All right, let's accommodate more calls now. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Our guy in the studio, good morning.
Morning, sir. Morning.
I was listening to your speech this morning.
the documents somebody has to present before being enrolled. Somebody like me here, when I was born, that certificate has not been started issuing to everybody, to anybody. Now I don't have a birth certificate. Secondly, is this registration going from the grassroots? I'm talking about the elder people in the village who cannot show up at the registration center. Then I want the explanation. Thank you.
All right, you didn't mention your name.
My name is Nddb. I'm calling from Umuahia South in Umuahia.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, quickly, sir. The birth certificate was just one of the requirements that we stated, sir. Okay. We also said that your traditional ruler, that your pastor or your imam, if you are a Muslim, or your village head can issue you a letter on the letterhead specifying that you are a member or where you belong, and with that we can register you. So nobody is exempted, sir, on that note. Then on the second issue that you were asking about, you asked about elderly persons. Yes, of course. We are going to capture every Nigerian, and that's what my colleague was saying, that we intend to take this enrollment to your villages, to your communities. So what we do is to arrange with communities, they give us a location, and then provide maybe power for us, and then we'll come there and we'll register you. So we are going to take it to everybody.
Okay. All right. Good morning to you.
God bless you, Mike.
You're welcome, Chief Awolowo. Good morning.
God bless you. God bless you, I guess. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Chief.
Golden voice of Obo, Chief Awolowo Nkwoded. Umuwada Muzikana Zobo, here in Imo State. They call a spade revolution. Let me ask this question, sir. If you register in any part of the state, is it workable in your, is it only where you are residing? Or you can register any part of the state and it becomes usage of the ID card? Can you register an Abia and use it in any part of the state?
That's a very wonderful question.
Yes. Okay, Chief Awolowo Golden Voice, sir. Thank you for that call. The truth is that you can register from anywhere. It's a national program. In fact, we're even registering outside Nigeria. We call it diaspora enrollment. People outside Nigeria are being registered. We have in so many countries in Europe and all that. So, but the important thing is to supply those data. Anywhere you register, you have to state that you're from Abia, for example, you are from Imo State. And then the system will capture those biometrics and place you accordingly. So, sir, the truth is that you can register and use it anywhere. And then if for any reason you registered in Abia State and you relocate to a place like Lagos State, for example, and you want your card, you get a text message that your national ID card is ready. It's not a problem. We'll call it card transfer. All you need to do is go to that Lagos State where you now reside, fill a form called card transfer form with the details that was sent to you on your text message, and then the office will transfer that card to that state so that you don't have to come to Abia State where you register to pick it up.
Okay. Good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Morning, the guest in the studio. It's Noble calling from Omaya.
All right. Welcome, Noble.
The issue on the situation is that, why is that? Because I remember when I did my own some years back in my village, we don't do this thing. We didn't collect 5 naira. Recently, when I took somebody, my sister to come and register because of this gang stuff, they were collecting 500 naira in that place. So and I overheard you when you say that somebody coming, they have fuel, the person has to buy fuel. Why is all this much more? I want to know, because it's one of the things they are, this transparency international. Then Nigeria is correct because of the process of making more thing like it will be paid more money. They will using this as one of the things that Nigeria is correct. So why?
Okay, Noble. All right.
Okay, Noble from Umuahia. Sorry, if you listen to me, I didn't say when you're coming you should buy fuel. I don't think I said that in the station here. I was only saying that some people offer that when you tell them there's no light, and they, of course, they see that there's no light, and they say, okay, what can we do to make this happen? I say people do go out of their way to go and even provide that. But I'm saying that the issuance of NIN is free, but there are services we pay for in our office. For example, you want to change your name, we charge for that, 500 naira per name you're changing. We also pay for change of your date of birth, which we are doing presently. We also pay for reprinting of the NIN slip. So
replacement of card.
Yeah, replacement of
renewal
card.
of
the
card.
NIN registration is free. These other services are paid for.
Okay. All right, let's accommodate more calls. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Soget. I'm calling from Aheke.
You're welcome.
So I want.
Oh, the network will not allow that to. Okay, if you can call back, please do. It's 0808-182-6949. 0811-605-2949. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, what I want to ask is...
What's your name? Your name first. Your name first.
My name is Ikechi.
All right, you're welcome.
I registered in neighboring state, but before the card could be completed, I was transferred to Abia. Now I approached your office here in Abia for me to check the transfer. But I was informed that there is cumbersome, it's a long process, that I better travel back to that state and collect it. So my question is, why is it so cumbersome and difficult to take the transfer from one neighboring state to another? Thank you.
Okay, sir. I don't know as at the time, Mr. Kechi, when you went there, but now I am there, and I can assure you that it doesn't. It's not that it's not cumbersome. It's a process. You fill the form. So I left a phone number in the studio, and you can as well seize that opportunity or walk in there and ask for standing.
The number again.
Yes. The number is already receiving calls. 0802 355 6571. So you can walk in there anytime after now, and then you can get your card transferred appropriately.
All right. The hotline again is 0802 355 6571 to get in touch with the NIMC. Now, before I go back to the phone lines, we have messages here. Good morning. Prince Wiloswago from Umunachi Obo will say that how long does it take for one who enrolls this year to get the card? Plastic one. So, I talked about Nigerians equally complaining that the card takes ready. So, this one says, good morning, sir. My question, I did my NIMC card in 2013, but last month, I got message in my phone that my NIMC card has expired and that I should come for a renewal of the card. Please explain this. Chinebom from Abia. All right, I would like you to tackle those questions. Complaints that the card takes so much time and the message received on his phone.
Yes, I agree with her that the card actually takes time, which shouldn't be, and that's why we are focusing on. If you have 3 or 4 things to take on, you decide to prioritize which one that has to come first, and then take the other one later. So which one is very important here now as it is? You need to get these people into this database, get them there, and then the card can always be issued later. So the card is taking time, also because we are trying to attract some kind of funding, which after populating this database, printing of card becomes, averagely, you are not supposed to spend more than 3 months for the card to come out. But then we have what is going on now called the ecosystem approach. The World Bank has suddenly intervened into what we are doing at the National Identity Management Commission, just to make sure that all Nigerians are captured in a space of 3 to 5 years. So the World Bank is providing funding for that. And you'll agree with me that as soon as that is done, we can now focus on card production. So for the person that received the text message that your card has expired, is unfortunate because you are supposed to have this card before it expires.
Dear card holder, he forwarded the message.
I agree.
Card
that's
holder,
from us,
your national EID expired on 21st today.
So what he needs to do, what she needs to do now is to go to the office where our office there, pick up the card that has expired free, because the first card issuance is free. Subsequent ones is paid for. You pay for the subsequent one. So go there, pick up that one that has expired and apply to get a new one, which you have to pay for. It's 5,000 naira.
All right. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my colony.
Good morning, Lawman the Prophet.
Good morning. Good morning, my gentleman in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lawman the Prophet.
Yeah. I don't have much to say, I like your analysis are very, very clear, but I want to know, will this registration, because I'm just joining you people now, will this registration be a continuous process, or will it be at a certain time you people will now stop? Because, we call it national day, and the people are being born every day. So will it be a continual process of at a time, just like we do at this, just like the way INEC do their own thing? So
right.
we will know if it has a time frame. Thank you, brother.
Okay, Loman the Prophet, I get it, really. It's a continuous exercise. There's no stopping. Just like you said, people will be born. We understand that every year Nigerians add 7 million to the number of Nigerians. So that's a wholesome. So you can see that our work does not stop at any point in time. It's a continuous exercise. There's no stopping like the previous ones.
Okay. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mike.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, the honorable man in charge of my ID card of the federation.
Thank you, sir.
My question.
Your name, please.
That is Baba Gonas.
Okay. You're welcome, Baba Gonas.
Yes. I did my own in 2013 in Lagos when I'm working there. But I'm retired now. I'm in my village in Imo State. My question now. Up to now, they have never said me my ID card. I have the one, the paper they get to me that is something like a green. I mean, yellow, but not a second. See them to put a cabinet and two. That's why my national identification, everything is here. But if they get the man ID card like as they need to do ID card in the company, this is 7 good years now. What am I going to do? That's my question.
Okay, Baba Gonas, thank you for that question. I can assure you that your cards, if you registered in 2013, because as much as possible, we have tried to clear that of 2012 and 2013. Our registration started in 2012. So your card should be ready. What happened is that some of us change our phone numbers.
Okay.
So when they send you a text message, you don't get to receive it. But then, with that number that you have, it's not really, despite where you registered, you can send me that, if you're on WhatsApp, or get your child to send me the slip that was given to you. If you send it to that number that has just been mentioned, I will follow it up and I'll tell you where your card is. And then you can go to our nearest office in Imo State to fill for the transfer of the card so that you can get your card, sir.
I will reel out that number again later on before we wrap up things. But before I let you go, what kind of support do you require from Nigerians and also from Abians to achieve your mandates?
Yeah, first of all, I will not end this without thanking the state government. The governor of Abia State has been very magnanimous, has been very supportive since we stepped into this project. His Excellency Okezie Victor, that's a PhD. Also by his assistant, that's the Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Deo Kochukwu. They have been very wonderful. As I'm talking to you now, a committee made up of the Deputy Governor, headed by the Deputy Governor, Commissioner for Information, the LG Affairs Commissioner, Commissioner for Finance, Budget and Planning, has been set up with a mandate to ensure that Abians are duly represented here.
Okay.
So that is a massive support. The local government chairmen are also helping. They are going to make sure that we are in all their local government and support us in any way. They have a matching order already, and they have been very, very supportive.
Okay.
And then we like radio stations like yours now have started it. So we have also appealed to other radio stations listening to us now to give us opportunity, because you know that we can't do this without awareness. We have to create the needed awareness, let people know the importance, just like we have said today, and the need for them to be captured so that they are not excluded in any benefit that the federal government wants to do. So I want to thank, I will also calling on public spirited individuals who want to sponsor radio programs on air. So let them come in and help us, because federal government is being available with so many things. If we get people that can take up a program, we have a weekly program we can run here for 13 episodes. So if we have people who can say no, for 300,000 or 400,000, we can support you to do this.
Okay.
We can see we can go down. And we can start with Flow FM as a radio station.
Fantastic. So you've been sensitized this morning. So go to the nearest enrollment center and get registered. It's very, very important. Many thanks for being part of the program this morning, Mr. Loveday Chika Ogbonna, the Abia State Coordinator of the National Identity Management Commission, and also Chuka Okwe, Cluster Head, Umuahia North and Zenith Bank Enrollment Centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If I'm to go back for my registration, I will meet you there.
Sure.
Definitely. We expect to see you soon.
All right. Thank you very much for being part of the program this morning. I want to really appreciate the producer of the program, Samson Eze, for being very, very magnanimous this morning also. My name is Michael Oni. Catch the episode of this program on our YouTube page later on today, www.youtube.com/FlowFMTV. The program returns on Monday. That will be next week when we bring up another issue as it affects you and also as it affects your environment. Of course, socio-political discussions. That's what we promote here on Flow 94.9 FM. The pinnacle of all discussions. We're done for this week. The platform on Flow 94.9 FM. My name is Michael Oni.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business, high-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.